All right, so today we're going to get into something pretty interesting,
Yeah.
instructor presence.
Oh, yeah?
Now, in a real
Yeah.
classroom, like everybody knows, like you can just tell when the teacher is like in charge. You know what I mean?
Right, right. You can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it. But online, well, it's not quite that easy, is it?
Yeah, it's not the same.
No. And for anybody listening who's trying to be a good learner, or maybe even thinking about teaching online,
Right.
figuring out how instructors can make online learning really work well, that's a big deal.
It is.
So today we're going deep on this whole idea of instructor presence, what it means, how it works, how to make it happen.
Yeah.
And for this one, we've got some great insights from Larry Wagan at Penn State and Kim Eek from UNC Chapel Hill. And their work is featured in this article by Rob Kelly.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, you read it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
Larry Reagan, he just lays it out so clearly.
Yeah.
He's got these 3 parts of instructor presence: persona, social, and instructional.
Persona, social, instructional. Okay, so we're going to dig into all of those.
Absolutely.
But first, I think it's worth thinking about what Reagan calls the basic problem here, you know?
Yeah.
Not being there in person like in a classroom.
Right.
The instructor's leadership is just kind of obvious, you know?
Yeah. You're right there.
You're right there.
Yeah.
But online, like Reagan says, you might not even be in the same time zone as your teacher. So how do you show you're in charge when you're not actually in the room?
Well, and that's where the human side of it comes in, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just about being there, it's about how the student feels.
Yeah.
And Kim Eek talked about this. Her experience learning online was if she didn't feel like the instructor was present, she felt like they didn't care, and that just killed her motivation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why bother if they don't care?
Yeah, that feeling of being ignored or forgotten, like nobody's paying attention to you.
Exactly.
That can really mess with your learning, can't
Oh,
it?
it totally can.
It's not just about the information you're getting. It's about feeling connected to the person who's teaching you.
Exactly.
And Reagan really emphasizes that this feeling of connection, it's even more important for students who are fully online.
Okay.
So somebody who's going to campus for just one online class, they've still got that whole campus vibe. They've got other instructors they see. There's a sense of community there.
Yeah.
But somebody who's doing their entire degree online, or maybe getting a professional certificate completely online,
Right.
for them, the instructor becomes like their main link to the whole institution.
Yeah, that's the person.
Yeah. Reagan actually calls the instructor the glue that holds everything together for these fully online learners.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. It really changes how you think about the instructor's role, doesn't it?
It does. They're not just delivering content anymore. They're like the whole experience for that student.
Right.
Now, Reagan also says that this social part of instructor presence, it might be more or less important for different students.
Okay, so why do you think that is?
Well, he says, think about like an 18-year-old living in a dorm, right?
Right.
Tons of friends always around. They don't need their online class to be their social life, you know?
Totally different from someone who's working full-time, got a family,
Right.
maybe feels isolated taking classes online.
Exactly. They might be craving that connection.
Yeah. Reagan says those traditional college students, they've got social networks galore.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good. But those older students who are learning online only, they might be missing that.
And that's where a good instructor can make all the difference.
Yeah, they can build that community feeling right within the online course.
Exactly. It's not one size fits all.
No, it's not. And it makes you think about your own learning style, too.
Right.
How much social interaction do you need to really thrive online?
Yeah, good question.
So we know instructor presence is important, especially for these different types of learners.
Yeah.
But how do you actually do it? How do instructors build that presence into their courses?
Well, Reagan has some great ideas about being proactive even before the class starts.
Okay, so before day one even.
Yeah, he says, make an introductory video.
Oh, okay.
Talk about your background, why you love this subject. Let your personality show a little.
So just be human, you know?
Exactly. And tell a good story in the course introduction. And even your photo, pick a good one, something professional but friendly.
Okay.
All these little things help the students connect with you as a person.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like meeting the teacher before you walk into the classroom.
Right. And all that effort you put in up front, it pays off big time.
Yeah, you're starting strong from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Now, Kim Eek, she has a good point here, too, about technology.
Oh, yeah.
She says, don't feel like you have to use every single new gadget or platform out there.
Right. More tech doesn't always mean more presence.
Exactly. What do you think about that?
I think she's right. It's easy to get caught up in all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But the real question is, what does your course actually need? What are the gaps you're trying to fill, especially when it comes to building community?
Mm-hmm.
Use tech strategically to solve those problems. Don't just use it because it's shiny and new.
Yeah, that really speaks to me as a learner sometimes. When a course has way too much tech,
Yeah.
it can actually feel less personal, you know?
I know what you mean.
Like the tech gets in the way of connecting with the instructor,
Yeah, it's like a wall instead of a bridge.
right? And speaking of tech, Reagan also says, get some expert help.
Oh, yeah.
He says, talk to IT people or instructional designers.
They know their stuff.
Yeah, they can tell you which technologies actually make sense for your goals.
Right, and how to use them the right way.
So that they actually help you create that feeling of presence.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about setting the stage for presence before the course even starts.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you keep that presence going once the class is in session?
Well, Reagan says students need to see what he calls evidence of engagement.
Okay. Evidence of engagement?
Right.
What's that mean?
It means they need to see that you're actively involved in the course. Not just posting materials, but like sending out announcements regularly, participating in the discussion forums, asking good questions, responding thoughtfully, maybe even sharing some interesting videos or articles.
So you're not just watching from the sidelines, you're in the game.
Exactly.
Now, Reagan also brings up this idea of using data from learning management systems or LMSs.
Right, like how often students are logging in, how long they're spending on the platform.
But that could feel kind of creepy, couldn't it?
He calls it Big Brother-ish.
Yeah, like you're being spied on.
But he says, think of it as a way to help instructors not control them.
Okay.
Like you can see patterns in student activity and your own participation, and it might show you areas where you need to be more visible or interactive.
So you're using the data to improve your teaching, not to judge yourself or the students.
Right.
Okay, that makes it a little less scary. Now, besides all those numbers, Reagan also talks about something he calls qualitative feedback.
Oh, yeah.
He says the types of questions students ask can tell you a lot.
Interesting. So what do you mean by that?
Well, if they're mostly asking logistical stuff,
like, when's the assignment due? Where do I find this reading?
yeah, that might mean they don't feel comfortable coming to you with deeper questions.
Right. Maybe they don't feel that connection.
But if they're asking thoughtful questions that really dig into the material,
that's a good sign.
that means they feel like you're approachable and invested in their learning.
Yeah, the questions themselves can be a clue about how they're perceiving you.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Right.
Now, Reagan also really pushes this idea of just asking students for feedback directly.
Yeah, just come right out and ask them.
He says check in with them throughout the course.
Like, how are you doing with the material?
Is there anything I can do to help you this week?
Just little things like that can make a big difference.
It shows you care.
Right?
And Reagan even has some specific questions he says instructors should ask.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
About how they're doing with supporting the students.
Okay.
He says ask, is the timeliness of my responses helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Are the types of responses you're getting helpful?
Good one.
And then this one's really important. Is there anything else I could be doing to help you?
Wow. Straight to the point.
Yeah, it's directed, but it shows you're really committed to making things better for the student.
Absolutely.
And Reagan says the most important thing is that students just appreciate being asked.
Just that simple act of reaching out.
Yeah, it goes a long way in building that sense of connection and presence.
Makes them feel seen and heard.
Exactly.
So basically what we're learning here is instructor presence. It's not something that just happens automatically online.
No, it's something you have to build and maintain.
You have to be intentional about it.
You've got to design your course with presence in mind.
Engage with the students consistently.
And really focus on building those relationships.
Across all those dimensions. Reagan talked about persona, social, and instructional.
So for everyone listening, whether you're a student, an instructor, or just someone who's curious about online learning,
we hope this deep dive has given you some good ideas
about what it takes to create a really great online learning experience.
One where students feel connected and supported.
And on that note, here's something to think about. As online learning keeps growing and changing, how do we need to change our understanding of presence?
Well, that's a good one.
What new ways will instructors and learners find to connect in the digital world?
Yeah, what's next?
As technology evolves and we learn more about how humans interact online.
Lots to explore there.
Definitely thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, it has.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
See ya.